How's it going? Welcome to Sunday Scaries. My name is Benjamin Foley, and I will be talking with you this evening. Sunday Scaries is a short video that distills wisdom that will help you combat fear, anxiety, and to start living the life that you truly want to live. Okay, so in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about what I like to call the lightness darkness paradox. It's something that I didn't create this. I learned this from many wisdom traditions, everything from Buddhism to Christianity to Judaism to, self-help. All these things kind of boil down, in my opinion, to this paradox of there's one coin, right? There's the dark side of the coin, and then there's the light side of the coin. Without having both, you can't have a coin. They're the same side of this, they're different sides of the same coin. And there's something going on in society right now that says you actually don't need both, right? You could be happy all the time. Having fear, having anxiety, having any darkness, any despair in your life is actually, somewhat portrayed as being a weakness or being something that you should try to prevent, rather than being something that you can really hold on to as something that is molding your soul, that is creating a new consciousness within your life that could actually add more value than always being happy, right? Because if we were always happy, we wouldn't be happy because you wouldn't know what that feels like. But that's not to say that darkness, all it does is help you feel happier when you're happy, right? No, there is actually depth there. There's actually true learning, true wisdom that can be found on the dark side and the light side. And so that's where this lightness darkness paradox comes in. But there's really three stages, right? There's the first stage, which is lightness before the darkness, and we're going to go through all these three stages. Then the second stage is the darkness, and then the third stage is the lightness after the darkness. And so let's dive in. So stage one: have you ever heard a song that kind of goes like this? And I just threw my hands in the air. Yeah, we all have. It's perpetually on the top charts because it has this feel good. I don't care. I'm light. I love life. I'm YOLO. Let's have avocado toast over at the brunch spot. But it lacks depth. It's naive. It's not true lightness. It's just being like, no, nothing matters. There's no darkness. There's no seriousness. I just don't care. And this is really well portrayed in what I mean by the lightness before the darkness. It hasn't been molded. It hasn't. There is what they call pre-conventional wisdom that comes before the real element, right? The real event, the evental wisdom, the real true deep wisdom that you actually can use in that darkness to then get to the lightness afterwards. And so that's the kind of lightness before the darkness. That's the phase of, what a lot of people attribute to kids in college or the millennials, right? That we just don't care. The adulting people, they would find themselves all in that category. Man, that is just really hurts me when I hear people talk about that. Please learn how to be an adult. Don't call yourself adulting. It's not funny or kidding anybody. But back to the point. So that's the lightness before the darkness. And then phase two is the darkness. Something happens. Somebody dies. You deal with depression. You deal with anxiety. You lose your job. Your business fails. Somebody you love leaves you. Whatever it is, it's these moments in life that are dark, and that we've run through this loop, especially in America. That's all I really know, so that's all I'm going to talk about. But we run through this loop that those are somehow something we should run away from, right? A picture that I always like to show myself, when I'm going through this is like you're running as fast as you can, west, trying to stop the sunset from, bringing the darkness. But in reality, it's all just a circle. It's all within you. The whole thing is within you. Everything, as Rob Bell would say, is spiritual. The darkness, the lightness, no matter what it is truly who you are, and it making you who you are. So the first step when you come into this dark period is to realize that it's not a negative. It is how you view it, right? It is not negative. It is actually something that you need in order to live a sustainable and juicy and thriving life. And that's what we all want. We don't want to live sipping daiquiris in Thailand for thousands of years. Like, that's not your purpose here. That's no one's purpose. And if somebody tells you that they are, they're lying. And so these dark periods, learn to hold on to them. In the Buddhist tradition, they talk a lot about being willing to accept whatever comes up, and that's what a lot of this darkness is it's being willing to be uncomfortable with whatever situation comes. But the problem here comes with a lot of people that stay in that darkness, right? A lot of people talk about the Dalai Lama as somebody who really exemplifies just that childlike love of the world and of life, right? He's probably experienced more darkness than most people. Most people are like, oh yeah, my boss or my coworkers. The Dalai Lama has a whole continent that, not a whole continent, but basically a whole continent, China, that wants to kill him, that will not let him go home. He's dealt with darkness. He's been in this stage. But the important thing is to not stay there. The important thing is to get to the next stage, which is what I like to call the lightness after the darkness. It's the post-conventional wisdom. It's the wisdom that comes after going through the darkness, going through the weeds. When you can truly be grateful for what you have and everything that is going on around you because you've dealt with your demons, you've looked them at straight in the face, and you've been able to sit with them, and now you can really enjoy it. Like, have you ever seen the Dalai Lama? He like tickles people. That the man exemplifies joy and happiness, but from a place of deep understanding and wisdom of what it truly means to be human, right? And that's what all wisdom traditions, whether you're religious or not, they're all just about what it means to be human. And that is the three-part paradox of the lightness and darkness side of things. And when you can get to that third place, or even mentally, that this is the path of any hard, challenging thing that you're going to have to go through, is you're going to have to go through these things. So, yeah, you might fail in your business, but you get to try. You get to try, right? And just being grateful for that. Yeah, everyone you love at one point or another is going to pass, but you get to love them now. You get to appreciate them now. This whole notion of understanding that there's going to be darkness, but when you get to that other wisdom tradition and you get to that next step of really understanding, yeah, but I get to do this. We get to be here now. Then you start operating on different ground. Then you start really living, thriving, not throwing your hands up in the air because you just don't care. You can do that. That's great, but you're doing it from a different place, right? There can be the same person doing the same thing in the club, going crazy, but they're doing it from a different place. This one's doing it from a place that understands that is we are just spiritual beings having human experiences. We are meant to live. We are meant to thrive. We are meant to love. We are meant to be an expanding consciousness for others and serve, because we were given life, because we breathe. You are not doing anything right now to breathe, but you are living. That is a different place than being over here and just choosing not to, just ignoring the darkness, ignoring everything that could be serious, or ignoring everything that could be hard. So go into it. Go into it so far that you exit it. That's the purpose. And so many people, I think, get into it and then stop because it gets hard, because it is dark. It's dark. It's not just kind of dark. It gets dark. But what I'm telling you is just keep going. That lightness will come. Spring always follows winter. You don't have to do anything for it besides just be, and just stop pushing off the darkness. Be willing to be uncomfortable, to live the life, to live the values that you want to live, you're going to have to sit with it. So if you're fearful of flying, but you want to be somebody who travels the world, be willing to sit with that uncomfortability every time you get on the plane, because you're living your values. You're living up to the person that you want to be. And if that's who you want to be, you're going to be okay. You might be uncomfortable, but that's not what your value is. Your values are not being comfortable for the rest of your life. Your values are what they are to you. And be willing to sit with that uncomfortability. Be willing to sit with that darkness, my brothers and sisters, so that you can live the lightness after the darkness. We'll see you next week on Sunday Scaries.